You think you're in control of what you say. But famous interviewers have a secret weapon. They can make you admit things you never planned to. And they do it without you even noticing. Here's the scary part, the same tricks work on you every day. In the next 10 minutes, you'll learn exactly how they do it. And once you know, you'll never be caught off guard again. Let's start with the most powerful trick of all, the one that makes people talk themselves into a corner. For example, in a 2018 interview, a journalist used silence to get a celebrity to reveal a secret relationship. The guest later said they didn't even realize they had said it until they saw the clip. The word secret appears twice in this section, that's the hidden anchor. You might think this only matters if you're a celebrity being interviewed. But think about your own life. Every time you talk to a teacher, a parent, or even a friend, these tricks could be used on you. And the worst part? You won't even know it's happening. A study from Harvard Business School found that silence in negotiations can make people give away 30% more than they intended. That's like buying a video game for $70 when you only wanted to spend $50. In a world where everyone wants something from you, understanding these tricks is like having a superpower. It keeps you in control. Imagine your boss asking for a deadline extension. If you stay silent, they might offer a better deal. This isn't just for celebrities, it's for you. A 2013 Harvard study on silence in negotiations showed that even brief pauses can cost you money. You've probably done this before. You know how when you're in a conversation and there's an awkward pause? Your brain screams, "Say something." So you do. You fill the silence with anything, even things you didn't mean to say. That's exactly what interviewers count on. The problem is, most people think the best way to handle a pause is to keep talking. But that's exactly what the interviewer wants. They're not uncomfortable, they're waiting for you to give away more than you planned. Think about the last time a teacher waited for your answer. Did you blurt out something to break the silence? That's the trap. And it works because your brain hates uncertainty. A 2015 study from the University of Michigan found that just 4 seconds of silence can spike your heart rate. A lot of people think interviewers use silence because they're tough or aggressive. And that makes sense, silence feels like a power move. But the real reason is more subtle. Silence works because humans are social animals. We crave connection. When a conversation goes quiet, our brain treats it like a threat. A 2015 study found that just 4 seconds of silence can spike your heart rate. So interviewers aren't being mean, they're using your own biology against you. They know you'll talk to escape the discomfort. And that's when you slip up. For instance, a politician once admitted to a funding scandal after just 6 seconds of silence. This shows that silence is not aggression, it's a biological trigger. The key is that your body reacts before your mind can think. You might think that when an interviewer stays silent, they're thinking of their next question. That would make sense, they need time to plan, right? But here's the surprising part, they're not thinking about the question at all. They're counting. In their head, they're counting to 10. Because they know that most people can't handle more than a few seconds of silence. By the time they reach 5, the guest usually starts rambling. And that rambling is pure gold for the interviewer. It's where the real story comes out. In a famous 1997 interview, a host used this technique to get a CEO to admit a product flaw that had been denied for months. The interviewer was not planning questions, they were waiting for the guest to break the silence. This isn't just a theory, there's real data. In 2013, a study at the University of Michigan looked at 100 job interviews. They found that candidates who faced longer pauses were 40% more likely to reveal negative information about themselves. Another study from the FBI hostage negotiation team showed that silence is one of their most effective tools. They call it the pause that breaks. Even trained professionals fall for it. In 3 minutes, you'll see the one mistake that destroys even people who know all of this. But first, let's look at a real example. In 1997, a famous TV host used silence to get a politician to admit something they had denied for months. The guest walked into the trap without realizing it. The data is clear: silence works. Think of silence like a video game boss that gets stronger the longer you wait. Here's the step-by-step. Step 1, the interviewer asks a question and then stops talking. Step 2, your brain detects the silence and panics. It releases stress hormones like cortisol. Step 3, to stop the panic, you start talking. And you keep talking until the silence ends. But here's the kicker: the interviewer doesn't have to say anything. They just wait. A study by psychologist Dr. Robert Feldman found that people lie more when they feel pressured. And silence creates that pressure. So the more you talk, the more likely you are to slip up. It's like a trap that gets tighter the more you struggle. This biological response is automatic, but you can learn to control it. Here's the part almost nobody notices: the biggest mistake people make is thinking they can win by talking more. They think if they just explain themselves better, the interviewer will back off. But that's exactly what the interviewer wants. Every extra sentence is another chance to contradict yourself. A famous example is when a journalist interviewed a CEO about a failed product. The CEO kept talking to fill the silence. After 5 minutes, he had admitted to 3 things he never meant to say. The journalist just sat there, nodding. The CEO walked out of the room having lost the deal. All because he couldn't handle 10 seconds of quiet. This mistake is common even among experienced professionals. So how do you beat the silence trap? It's simpler than you think. Step 1, when the interviewer goes silent, stay calm. Count to 5 in your head. Step 2, use that time to think about what you really want to say. Step 3, answer only the question, nothing extra. If you need more time, say something like, "That's a great question, let me think." That breaks the silence on your terms. A study from the University of Chicago found that people who pause before answering are seen as more confident, not less. So silence doesn't make you look weak, it makes you look smart. The next time someone tries to silence you, remember, you hold the power. Just wait. You can practice this technique in your next conversation. Use it to stay in control. Let's quickly recap. 1. Interviewers use silence to make you talk. 2. Silence triggers a biological stress response. 3. The mistake is talking more to fill the void. 4. The solution is to pause and count to 5. 5. You can use silence to look confident. Now you know the secret, and you can spot it whenever it happens. You can even use it yourself in your next conversation. 97% of people in this space never figure this out, but now you're part of the 3% who can. If you learned something, hit like so more people can discover these tricks. Leave a comment: have you ever been caught in a silence trap? And subscribe to join the inner circle. We uncover hidden psychology every week. Thanks for watching.